Okay, it looks like we are live, which means I can post my notice. Looks good. Okie doke. That should be taken care of on Discord. Now I just gotta get Twitch. Or not Twitch, Twitter. God. Here we go. Yes, already with the objection! Except it's gonna be different because it won't be Phoenix Wright. It'll be a different lad. A much younger lad. But hello, Noah. How are you doing? Yo, Mortem, how's it going? Hopefully both of you have had a good day today. And I should have stream. This one shouldn't be too difficult to keep or to pay attention to chat on, since I won't have to be like looking at like 20 different things all at once. But it's all good. Yo, Ender, how you doing? Welcome to stream. Hopefully you're doing good. It will be better Phoenix Wright in this game. Also, yes, I do know what Phoenix looks like in this game, because again, I think I've played the first 2 cases. I'm pretty sure that's right. A few bugs in your bed, so yeah, kind of nasty. Not good is definitely a way to describe that. Yo, Josh, how's it going? I'm pretty sure, Josh, you've watched... Well, first off, Josh, hopefully you're having a good day. Second off, you haven't played this game, but you watched a full playthrough, right? Did you watch NCS play through this game? Doing good, just got home after a long, busy, slow day at work. Aw, man. I'm sorry, Mortem, but you're home now, so maybe I'll have some relaxation, and you're going to get Grandma some food. Well, hopefully that doesn't take too long. You're excited? You're so excited, Noah. If only I could match your excitement. Also, yes, I was correct. Haha, I remembered. I hope isn't lice. I don't think it would be, but yeah. Just anything about bugs. No bueno. It's the only one you haven't played, but yeah, I've seen it. Okay. Nice. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Don't want to be spending my time lollygagging. Also, I'm paying attention to the desktop audio. Let me know if it's too quiet, okay? Like, the noises are like slightly silent. Let me turn it up just a little. I'll turn it up and then I'll turn it down if I need to. Yo, hey, Peekback. Hopefully you're doing okay. Dude, turnabout Trump. Showdown time. Starts on canvas. No, why? No. Don't spoil anything. You lose. Oh. Well, that works too. And then he says, yeah! Oh, you can't hear it at all? Alright. Let's see if that helps a little bit. I mean, I know this beginning part is a little quiet, but hopefully that'll be better. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Oh, someone had to die! Defendant lobby number 3. Panicked. Palm sweaty. Mom spaghetti. I can admit it, I'm nervous. I'm pretty sure every single person who's ever, like, played this game has made that joke. Ugh. Yo, Antiqua, how's it going? Hopefully you've had a good day today. Also, again, tell me if I need to turn up the volume a little bit more. I should be okay, maybe, but I don't know. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, huh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. I overdid it again. Pretty sure that was supposed to be a blatant reference. Maybe, I don't know. Did the song come out at that point? Maybe. Vibing to Cameron playing a banger. Dude, I'm expecting a banger the way you're talking about it. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir! I'm all over that drift! As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir! One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I don't know. I love this game. Yeah, I'm fine! I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way! And our man of the hour. Yeah, Apollo. Dude, we gotta love Apollo. Whoa! Good, morning! Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous, meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help! The man himself. Look at him. So you're... Fine, I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. He's your friend, so why? You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, yeah, look at that scruff, dude. Yeah, freaking light blue beanie with a nice button on it. Freaking hoodie. Like dark hoodie. Got a nice locket going on. Got the scruff. That's peak character design right there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's time, shall we? Yes, sir! Look at his jaw. Okay, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. Aha! See, he says the thing. He did it. He did the thing. God. The court is now in session.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is up. Fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine. Really? Yeah, it's freaking Winston Payne. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Calvin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, the defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. My client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to this greenhorn. Why? Payne, I know nothing about him except, yeah, he's basically just a meme. That's all you gotta know. Yeah, dude, gasp in pain. Also, yes, Noah, I am listening to music. Ace Attorney music, always good. Always beautiful. Also, again, let me... I know I've said it 30 times already, but let me know if I need to turn up the volume at all. I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Yes, the pun. Immediate Keck W. Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Just stop talking. That'll be kind of hard. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry I had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time... Oh, no. This is still a judge. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. Rock, paper, scissors. Yo, Cobble, how's it going, my friend? Hopefully you had a good day today. Welcome. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne.
To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Winston Payne, subtle as ever, I see. Freaking Winston Payne.
Ahem! The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head, smack! Killed him cold.
A customer at the restaurant, you say? Alright, you're exhausted. Yo. Well, hopefully, you can take the night off, get some nice rest, maybe enjoy stream a little bit. Just relax and lurk if you need to. Also, Paul's hair is better than Phoenix. This is pretty good, but Phoenix got the spike hair. I don't know, man. How badly Payne was balding. Yes. Yeah, he's had it hard. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was,
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright, a pianist?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice.
The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle added to the court record. Dude, look at this. Look at this classic court record. Good old days. Yeah, right, air, forehead. God. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filled in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Yo, let's go! Alright, so, okay, yeah, let me, I think the bit cup is a bit too large, so let's make that a little bit slower. Or not slower, but smaller. There we go. That should help. Or I could just move it right here. That's probably better, honestly. Just move it right here. Okay. You can just call him Guilty Love if you want that. How long did I yearn for one of these? Okay, you know what? I have a feeling this won't be important in this case, but you never know. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Okay, single blow is probably going to be important. Photographs. Sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Let's check this. Oh no, I'm dropping frames. No! Come back! Please, thank you. Okay, God, it's only like 14 seconds and I better show that badge to everyone. Well, I'll probably show it to people like outside of the courtroom. I don't know if I'll waste my time in courtroom. Right, exactly. No frames. All right. So we see the bottle. This guy's kind of looking not so hot. No, am I dropping frames again? Okay, no, I think I'm fine, but it's chunking a little bit. I'm worried. Grape juice bottle used as a murder weapon. Bears the defendant, Mr. Wright's prints. Okay, that's not good. All right, well, let's keep moving. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shoddy Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Bosch Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least, not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean.
Oh, well, you just showed the photo.
As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
I don't know why I almost said Congress. God.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
Okay, I was on the right track with that. Found out of the biggest galaxy brain. Ooh, okay, yo. Yeah, let me know. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the pure sense. A competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a sudden clash of passions. Only the cards, the backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome.
Come again.
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
Well, he's impressing some men too. Let me just say.
That will be our first order of business here then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards.
And then Phoenix with the slight eye.
Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Yo. Witness testimony. Let's go. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. Our customers are happy. Is that so, Mr. Wright?
A pianist who can't play piano.
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor! My first cross-examination. Don't blow it! Are you alright? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, but you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in a cross-examination? I don't need no refresher course, pal. I know Phoenix Wright, brother. And before it takes me 20 years.
No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered.
I think you do more than you think. You know it, or you do not.
I'm fine. These cords of steel are ready for battle.
My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies and lies in the testimony and reveal them to court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies. Phoenix Wright? As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it.
The defense may begin the cross-examination.
The competition. Every time you press the court record button, it makes the emergency meeting sound. Yeah. Bah. Hold it! God. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large. Yeah, right. Bro, frickin' don't stop with the mogus.
Among Us. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club?
They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all.
Well, I do detect pride in that, or do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yeah. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. Huh? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? We gotta press everything. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only in the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room.
A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad.
The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through a small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be for good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards.
There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there's some lying scattered on the floor.
Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards of red, the other blue.
As I recall, in poker you make 5 card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yes, a game of hands. Also, by the way, first stay hydrated to the stream. Which I'm going to have to stay hydrated because I'm going to have to be reading a lot of dialogue.
This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of this game sufficiently.
That's right! It was a simple game, after all!
Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room at the very moment that the crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime.
Now, that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not?
Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press. I got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Well, I don't think I need to press that. I plead silence. I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Bears the defendant Mr. Right's prince. So, you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, but this grape juice bottle? I don't know, like, I just had, like, 5 different variations of that, like, pop in my head, God. Right? So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Oh, God.
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine.
Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel?
Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints did.
Inefficient!
God.
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, dude, freaking Apollo. Dude, he's not allowed. Yeah, he's not allowed to yellow, dude. Can't believe it.
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with a bottle.
Ah!
It just means he chugs it upside down. No, I'm not gonna be quiet. No. You silence no. It's me. He could be juggling. Well, he did say he was a pianist, not a juggler, you know. If it was on that. Something's wrong with the audio, but I can't tell if it's your mic or the game. I think it's the game. There's like a tad bit of static going on. I don't know what it is, though. Yeah. If I pause it, I think it'd be fine. I think it probably has to do with, it's probably because the game isn't running at full FPS, so it occasionally, lags behind. Audio's fine up until you said that. Well, I mean, again, I think it's just that. But also, hello, Taylor Kaler. Hopefully you've had a good day today.
Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse.
Oh, I see no problem, Justice.
Huh?
The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see.
Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court?
I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now.
Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something.
And what might that be, Mr. Gavin?
On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police?
Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still that...
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we?
I did not mean to have 30 minutes more. That's okay, Empress. Also, hi. Hopefully you've had a good day today.
The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement, 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception that far down.
Ooh, excuse me.
The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made that call?
Okay, I guess nothing else on that. Yes, hello, Empress. You did have a good day? Oh, nice. Good to hear. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. If you claim he is being uncooperative... Oh, and you complain that he's being uncooperative, or claim, whatever. He goes, Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about...
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this?
That's a good question. How indeed?
How's my day? It was good. I really didn't get that much done though. Like, not all that I wanted to. So, and I mean, I didn't have anything that like needed to get done today. But what was supposed to be a little bit more productive ended up not being very productive. So, We got tomorrow, though. So that's fine. The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness.
You're as good as they say you are.
So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up until now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready?
Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to stand.
Always got tomorrow. Yes, I do, but it just feels bad when it's like, oh, it was literally just like one simple little thing. And it just didn't get done, so it's whatever. Don't you ever be lazy again. Oh. No promises. Never, ever.
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people.
Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
Bro, you can't just threaten his horns like that. Air forehead. Will you bald in the future? Oh. Hey, Noah, you look like pain. Yikes, dude.
Yeah, you are sure?
I swear my gavel, please come out.
Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you are sure it is okay.
Now, the prosecution. Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's paraphernalia?
Alright. Thank you for using big words. Should have taken a nap. You've been tired all day. Yeah, why didn't you, Josh?
Yes, she is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga Orley. I am employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is the naming restaurant. But I also perform, how is it said, other service.
I take it one of these other services has taken the customer's pictures.
Da, like for example, this one.
I guess she's supposed to be Russian. Olga, oh really? Yeah. Yo, look at that. Uh-oh.
That's the defendant!
Indeed, on the night of the murder, man in white hat is one who's gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim.
Different because I sleep in well. Built different.
Order!
Well, I mean, it's also borscht, and borscht is Russian, and they've said on like 3 different occasions or whatever that it's like a Russian restaurant, so you know, if that one went like that over my head, it might be a bit concerning.
That is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It's the same way I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually.
And the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Built different indeed.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout we call it.
Excuse me, the hideout?
This room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Again, like, I've played this game before, but I don't remember a whole lot. Bro. Bad guy. Alright. Cameron, could you ask if you're in chat? Yo, Jas, where are you? No one needs you.
This room where murder took place.
What?
Yo, look at such a surprise! It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want a copy of.
God, man, she's trying to sell, bro. She's trying to make that shmoney. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime: the victim, Shoddy Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga O'Reilly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... that means small girl with camera is. It's that simple. Process of elimination.
Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about the night's events.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was called Both Players Played with Hats On. Duh. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand-on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Duh. That man flew at the victim and strangled him to death.
Wait, what? Do I even need to press this one? I mean, I know this was first case, right, but still.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious the winner was the victim, Mr. Smith?
That's ridiculous! Because Mr. Wright can't lose!
Justice, maybe you could come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years!
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor, either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here.
Oh, really? It's turned to Olga. No! Yeah, all about Fall Guys. God.
These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to defendant Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of Courtroom number 3.
Alright, Judge. I think he means poker face.
Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table.
Chip photo added core record.
Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
Alright, well, you know what? I will risk losing some health at the fact that I feel like this one is really easy. Man flew at the victim and strangling him to death. Okay, well... Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Let's object that. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Normal customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head.
Ah!
Miss O'Reilly, really now? Did you witness this crime? She caught the borscht. Nice.
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during the investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit.
Yo. Good one, Noah. Ah! Anyways.
But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at the victim. His neck.
How many times are we going to say this? Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me.
Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination.
There's such thing as a thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. As you deal cards for game. It's cold. Played with hats on? Is that important? Plays this whole time at lock at his neck, then the last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. After the defendant tried to strangle the victim, he hit him with a bottle. Oh. I believe you know now what it is you need to do. Right, sir, leave it to me. There are only 3 people in the room. Victim, Shotty Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now. Oh, I only get present. I can't just, like, bring up the court record. I don't think that's important. I mean, she said they were wearing their hats the whole time, which I guess would make sense. When in doubt, press it out. Yeah, I'll probably will press on some things just in case. Okay. You didn't say anything about hitting before.
So sorry. I must be forgetting the star.
Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely.
So he strangled him, then hit him? Something's fishy about all this. Oh, is it like the picture of him? Should there be Okay, that doesn't seem important. It was called both players. That would still make sense, I guess. Locket at his neck? Okay, is he wearing a locket? I do not want to present that. What? Okay, this may be obvious, but I want to press this too. His locket?
I believe it was good luck charm, Da. He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars.
Try not to help Cameron. Yes, thank you.
Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift.
The defense would like clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket.
Of course, I knew that. It's probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding.
So what happened next?
Okay, well, that doesn't seem important. Last hand is done. Then tried to strangle a victim and hit him with a bottle. The only thing I can think of is like the attorney's badge. I guess it'd be this. It doesn't show any like strangle marks on his neck. Like there's no sign of No, okay.
This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How are the evidence and exactly are the evidence in the statement just now related?
They aren't, are they?
Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think the facts over before making accusations.
I don't think that will make any points with the judge. Alright, no, well, I guess I do want to present, but I'm not presenting on this. Is the locket here? I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah, see, there's a locket. He has the locket there. But he doesn't have it here. So I guess that's it. Oh, and I was at the end of the thing. You aren't looking in the right place in your court record? I'm not? Got you now! Do I? chips when the crime took place. Oh, death cause. Wait, is it still that it's caused by a single blow to the forehead? No, but... Well, I guess the autopsy would still mention the strangling, wouldn't it? If it was... If that's what happened? Let me check this again. Don't see anything here. Grape juice bottle used as a murder weapon. I don't think that would be it. No. Maybe I just need to press, because again, I wonder if it's the locket, but I was on the right track before. See, that's what I would have thought, but maybe that's not what, maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. Sometimes that happens in Ace Attorney games, where like you think too far ahead, and then... Oh shoot, I was at the end of testimony again. I'm not paying enough attention. Ah! Okay, no, that's not it. That shouldn't be it. Like, the picture that they just showed us, I would think that, like, that might be it. Something terrible has happened. Defendant tried to strangle victim as he hit him with a bottle. But there's no marks. Go with your gut. I have several gut reactions. Locket at his neck? Well, where's the locket here? Tried to strangle the victim, he hit him with the bottle. Well, see, this shows him that he got hit with a bottle. I guess it's the autopsy report that says that he wasn't strangled, but then that's also not the cause of death. I don't... Okay, let's try this one. No, okay. So let's go back to the pendant. Might have to save state, make sure I don't die. They're talking about there being 3 people in the room at the night of the crime, but I don't feel like there's any, like, evidence necessarily to, like, chase that unless it's, like, the photo. Like this. I mean, there's the grape juice over here. He is wearing the locket there. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. You know, there was one curious part in her testimony that just like Mr. Gavin said, but what does it mean? Yeah, I was about to say, we say objection and now we're just thinking to ourselves, bro.
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean?
If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets just don't disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off. No. Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean staying hydrated, chat. The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? All right, that's a little bit of a leap, but you know what? That's the bluff. that is the defense bluff.
Ah!
Uh,
Defendant, what do you have to say to this?
and he's like,
Say,
yes,
I just noticed this, but
you have something.
you have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again?
Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence?
Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost.
Badly.
Miss O'Reilly?
You will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant.
Alright. Serious competition.
The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who is winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Okay.
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ah, how many times have I heard those words? I've done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor. I now regret what I've done. A common tale, but true.
Methinks the judge just watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright says he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Part of me thinks like maybe like the picture's reversed. Like the side of the table is actually the side that Mr. Wright was sitting on. I don't know if we'll get that eventually or whatever. Persona 5 Ace Attorney, he'll say, "For real?" for like 90% of the freaking of the court session. He's your aide who sits at your side, and literally all he has to say is "For real?" Would just be Larry Butts. Yeah, that'd be close too. All right. You know what? Let's just press stuff. Were those the usual starting points? Were there any special rules used?
No, not special. Usual game, usual rules.
If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be, exactly 7,000 points.
Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. And he's like,
house chips come in two sizes, small and large.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Like this. I was about to present. I was like, oh. Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll press it anyways. Were the chips in this photo all the chips that were used?
Of course.
Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Do it. Yo, Michael, thank you for that host. I very much appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a good day today. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips.
Explain? What is that to be explained? He said,
Yo, hello, Michael. Bye, Michael.
poker chips are poker chips. They're not fishing chips. Not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cop. Not a...
Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask her something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even?
My... As I have been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chips, 100-point chip and 1,000-point chip. It is not money, da.
Justice. Sir! Don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself.
Well, does the defense want a witness to add to her testimony?
Sure. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny.
Added to the testimony.
I wish I knew where I was going with this. Oh, are the sizes of the chips swapped? So, like, the large ones are worth less than the small ones? Yeah, if they were swapped around, I think Phoenix would have had more. Because if this was... Or, well... But that's still... If he had that, though... If he had this hand, though, I mean, he still would have lost, I guess. I'll press about it, because I don't know which one is which. But yeah, I mean, if this is like 2,000 and this is 4,000, there's no way that, like, that would catch up. Let's go back and press. Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why.
Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten.
Ah, sorry, I'm fine. You better think of something to ask. And quick. 2 types of chips. The small ones are 100 and the big ones 1,000. Right, of course.
Ha! Don't waste our time.
Is that all?
Yeah, great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice. Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten, after all. Calculation? The one who was winning it was the victim. Last hand, dependent play all chips and lose. The moment lost was decided. Oh gosh, I keep wanting to press present, God. I mean, she said the small one was 100, so I mean, he would be losing, right? Unless, again, that's like a lie in the testimony. I'll press the rest of her statements. I don't think there's gonna be another thing, though. I feel like it's trying to lead me towards that. Mr. Gavin said that this... Oh, gosh. Quick. 2 types of chips. I guess it will be okay to read over this one. Small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000. Right. Of course. And then Christoph was like, you freaking idiot! Actually, between this photo and this photo, is there actually a difference? No. That looks basically the same. Yep, that's the one I pressed just earlier. You're telling me that Mr. Wright, undefeated for 7 whole years, was losing?
It must have been a most unlucky day for him. I'm glad I did not take other picture of him. It would break camera, certainly.
Present thing where she says the thing about the total points? Yeah, I think so. Yo, Avatar, what's going on? Hopefully you had a good night, dude, and had a good stream. I stuck around for a little bit.
The chips, they went always to victim's side of table. So you are telling us it was a one-sided game? One-sided, and... For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose.
Wait, the defendant played with old chips on the table, but they were still some on the side. I don't know. Hold on, press it real quick. Last hand.
It was largest points of any hand. The defendant's hand. It was excellent. He tried to use it to take victory from behind.
It appears both the defendant and the victim's hands are in this picture. It is truly an excellent hand. However, so is the victim's.
One with the highest number wins, so defendant loses. The victim, Mr. Smith, had a stronger hand than the defendant and crushed him. I believe that explains what occurred next. Once cards laid down on table, it happened.
Apparently Cameron is eyeing it and not actually counting. Yes, I'm sorry. Defendant grabs table from bottle and... fresh gold together. Yes, I pressed. I know, sir. Hold it.
And what happened next?
Even to think of it now, I shake and tremble. I did not believe such a thing would happen.
What such thing?
Please, you must believe. I had no idea. How could such thing occur?
Okay, yeah, that was about to say.
What such thing?
Night. The defendant had hit him, the victim. I saw it all happen right before me. I saw the bottle coming down on the victim's head. Decisive, isn't it, Your Honor? My witness saw the very moment of the crime.
Remember your okay. Okay, alright. 3,500. I mean, whatever it is, it has to be this photo, right? My only thing is, it's like, I guess, like, the points were probably reversed. You're sure it was the victim who won?
Absolutely sure.
It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won, if you're not in kindergarten.
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court?
Of course, Your Honor. Yeah, Apollo's gonna have to explain this to me. In this photo, I see small ships and I see large ships. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points?
Why, the big ones, of course. Duh!
Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up.
The totals?
Oh, if you were counting up the actual totals of the chips to be 7,000. If you did it the reverse way around, it wouldn't equal that. It would be more than 7,000. The combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. There you go.
Yes, my calculations are correct. Let's see. 3 plus 1 carry the 5.
They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. Idiot, yo, don't worry about it. The big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small ones are worth 100, and you add them up.
How much is it?
Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? I am. 10,600 points. The chips don't add up.
This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony.
But why? How could this be?
Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Starting points were wrong, chip count was wrong? Starting points were wrong? No, it's probably the chip count was wrong. Yeah, because this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. The odd thing here is the number of chips. Right, Mr. Gavin? Why are you asking me? Just in case. Justice, it's your case I'm concerned about. If you're wondering about the chips, just look at the photograph. It's all there. Even our judge with his failing eyesight could count them. That's not the only thing failing the judge.
Let me ask you again.
Oh, well. Starting points. Well, that doesn't... Wait, both were right? Oh, they're saying that... Okay, so we already explained the contradiction with the chips. Yeah. Both were right. I was thinking we were still on that, so that's why I chose that one. Okay, yes. Both are right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in the photograph, then there can only be one answer.
Well, what is it?
The value of the chips was the other way around. Okay, so yes, well... Alright. I am misunderstanding.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness! Utter madness!
Show me the photograph of the chips again. There's 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up.
Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing!
Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Ah!
Exactly. The small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100. Let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table.
Ah!
The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100 points.
Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all.
But that's impossible!
Gotta go work out. Yo, see you later, Empress. Get them gains. Hopefully see you later. My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning!
Yeah!
Now, Miss O'Reilly, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you?
Oh! Eek!
No, she's good at catching that borscht.
Order! Order! It appears our defendant had lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened.
Yeah!
We must now ask ourselves whether... Excuse me, what is it, Miss O'Reilly?
I do not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, See what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see? In the last hand, there was a cheat! A cheat? You don't mean a trick?
Wait, or do you mean a scam?
They're all the same thing.
Yes, there was a cheat in the last hand. It is why I came into the chips the way they are.
Great. Just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn for the interesting. Okay.
Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
The final hand. This is the final testimony. No.
The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both man's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand and poor Smith.
Miss O'Reilly! Why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers.
A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Yeah. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house?
Liars these days. You don't know your poker.
I can't say this bodes well for your case, or career.
What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice, you know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good, now picture a hand with 1 pair and 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hand in this photo.
Wow, they both have full houses.
We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat!
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If he did cheat in the last hand, that leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Both men had a full house. I mean, it's probably right. That is 7s and 1s. That is 1s and kings or queen. It's a full house. Do I need to press on? No, I don't think so.
How was it clear?
Well, the defendant, he played a fifth ace.
A fifth ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot, or perhaps I should say, a hand.
Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to testimony without Mr. Payne's cheek. Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony, please.
Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all, and she just said earlier that there's 4 of each. So that would be like the contradiction that she's trying to make. Okay, is there like a... Wait, Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. That's not right. It had 3 knights or queens or whatever that is. There are 2 aces in each hand. What? Ma'am? What? There are 2 decks? No, but like... She was still saying that they were playing with, Well, that's the argument that she was making, though, right? That there was an extra ace still, though. I mean, either way, the thing is that he didn't have 3 aces. So,
it appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name...
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not?
Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Oh, yes, now we're doing this.
Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony?
It should be this. Because he only had 2 aces. Unless I should be clicking on the kings? I don't know. Hopefully just that general area will cover it.
Miss O'Reilly, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But you can clearly see the victim's hand only had 2 aces.
Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Well, stupid, there ain't a 3rd ace there. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating, alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom.
Dang, I wonder what's going on with this. It's kind of weird that's happening. I wonder if there's like a way to limit that. I'll probably look it up after the stream. I love how you say O'Reilly when her name's O'Reilly. Well, I think that's the pun that they're going for.
2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please! It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. That was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day.
You're right to trust your instincts.
Mr. Gavin?
Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead?
Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
I wish courts were like this, to be honest. I mean, it'd be a little bit more entertaining, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards?
Mr. Payne.
Yes.
The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court.
Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
These cards don't prove cheating was going on. Nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? Well, because the defendant is... Or not the defendant. Because the witness is saying our defendant's hand was cheating, then I would probably gauge to say the defendant's hand.
Let's start with Mr. Wright's hand. The defense would like to view the defendant's hand. Very well, Mr. Payne, your evidence.
Yes, Your Honor.
Received evidence, Wright's hand.
Well now, let's see what we have here. Right, sir!
Oh, is this a thing where I'm going to have to, like, spin them around? Wait, pull up the picture again. Sorry, too late. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Okay, well, he is playing with a deck of red. The card backs are red. For some reason, I ought to think they were using blue cards that final hand. Didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Huh? Oh, which was it now? Oh, was that the only thing to examine? I guess so. There was a little, like, yeah, there's a little of, like, some stuff going on here. I was like, oh, there's a secret hidden card.
Well, has the defense found anything they would like to share with the court?
Not unless you count utter confusion. Perhaps you'd best examine the victim's cards next. Of course, you can always give those cards another look. Well, do I examine the other hand of cards? Yeah, of course, why not? Guess I'll examine the victim's cards. Your Honor, the defense requests the time to examine Mr. Smith's hand. I mean, honestly, that would make sense in, like, both situations. Like, why wouldn't you just do both?
Don't worry, justice is always swift.
What do we have here?
What? Your Honor, look at this! The victim's cards! The back is a different color!
That's impossible! But I put that card in right hand. Ah!
What was that, Mr. Willie?
No, wait! Merely said, I have eek!
Your Honor,
Mr. Gavin, yes.
tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker?
To cheat?
I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss O'Reilly, she's the cheater. Professional, I'd wager. Oh, she catching that borscht.
Order! Order!
Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Yeah, good catch there. Good catch there, Apollo. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible, but I put that card in right hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shoddy Smith. This song is so freaking good, dude.
Ooh!
Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim.
What?
Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Mr. Olga O'Reilly, are you?
Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Mrs. Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Oh, she ain't catching that borscht this time. Oh, well, turned out okay. There you go, Noah.
Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Mr. Olga O'Reilly?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Mr. Justice. Your Honor! Seems you've presented a new possibility to court. One suggesting a new connection, or a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith.
And that means
The court can now pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time.
What?
I did it. I held out. I mean, it's still kind of weird that the fingerprints are still in the bottle, but it's whatever.
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
No, Big Right? What you doing? Mr. Wright? You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet.
What nonsense is the defendant spewing now?
Think, one of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means?
Oh, what are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous!
Mr. Payne, you of all people should know Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous.
That he does.
Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about this about the game that fateful night.
As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night.
That was said before.
The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? Same difference, I guess. If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game.
I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using blue cards.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards.
Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating.
Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes! Yes! Yo, how's it going? Yo, I'm doing pretty good. Confused person. Hopefully you're having a good night. Welcome to stream. Hopefully you just chill a little bit as we're playing some Phoenix Wright. Or I guess Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Down on the table in the photo of the last game. Oh yeah, I guess that is probably what leads people to think that, huh? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. Could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder.
Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped.
Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be.
Ah,
I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? During the murder? Why would... Okay, I feel like during the murder is like the least likely thing. If it was in there before the murder, then it would have been super easy to find in the deck. Plus, not only that, but if he was hiding his hand, like if he had his hand up, then he would have just seen that there was like a blue card there. Like there would have been no way for the victim to hide that. I really think that during the murder is also a bit of a stretch, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say after the murder. Perhaps it happened after the murder.
What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh, even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Ah, quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder.
Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us.
There's another?
Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for the blue card? Who? The game, the murder, is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. Okay, so was it that swapped okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? I don't see why Phoenix would have done that. Olga definitely would. I really don't think would have had incentive to do it. Unless she wanted to get Mr. Wright accused. Yeah, right, exactly. Phoenix should just be like, oh yeah, it's good. Good job, Apollo. Thanks for saving me. Who was it that swapped the red card for blue? I mean, I guess Phoenix also could have done that before he made the call, but... Olga O'Reilly? I feel like it wants me to say Olga because the someone else thing, like usually that's used for other cases. It's like, oh, there was somebody else behind the whole thing. But the problem is like the only thing that might even could lead to that is that, what was it? That this was a ring for black market deals, so someone could have snuck in and killed him. But like, we haven't even talked about that at all. So why would we bring that up now? I'm gonna go with Olga first. Why, it must have been Olga O'Reilly who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up the evidence of the cheating.
That does make some sense.
Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation. Huh? The swap card was from the wrong deck.
Yes, a blue card was stuck in the red hand.
Missing a card from the wrong deck. When the backs are different colors? Remember that you're talking about Olga O'Reilly. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have trouble imagining that even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo.
Right!
Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card? Okay, well, I really don't think Phoenix did it, so... He defended himself after this. I mean, I know things, not in, I guess, not in this game, but in, future games, so... But yeah, no general spoilers in chat for this game or the other ones, just in case. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been or Olga O'Reilly either.
What are you suggesting?
That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yes, I know. See, that's what I did. Come on. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card.
And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was thinking about how much fun all this is.
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Miss O'Reilly, then who was it?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find out indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand, and that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all, or I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting. They're the same voice. Whatever. I give up. Yeah, no spoilers for... Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Just no spoilers in general, because obviously we don't want to talk about future games. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in.
But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist.
True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Although it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there the night in the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room.
I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption.
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes.
We gotta wait 20 minutes, come on. That takes too long. I refuse to participate. Right, exactly, dude. Like, come on, man, what are you doing? That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you'd know the answer to that. Wait, yeah, he said he was there the night of the thing, right? Okay. Ha, being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice! Yes, sir! The judge has summoned me to his chamber, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Aww. Blessed Trucy. Just realized the hobo was Phoenix. Yes! Yes, Phoenix is the good-looking hobo lawyer there. I'm just surprised to hear that you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'd meet her one of these days. Or perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night. Was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never! Honest! But it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Huh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like a trial law? Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. Yeah, Trucy, right. Frickin' Trucy. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy! I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. I almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it! I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Sorry, my name is... Your name is late playing Overcooked with your sister, which we'll return to soon. Well, hopefully you enjoyed Overcooked. Overcooked is usually very fun. Yo. How you doing, Yellow? Hopefully you've had a good day. Apart from the fun Overcooked. Count will now reconvene. I think I remember that misspelling from the first time. From the first time I played this game.
Has our witness, Miss Olga, really recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand.
Very well, the witness will take the stand.
The parrot will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you are a poor liar and a poor loser.
No, not.
Oh, alright. Hello. Spending time with your sister this week before she leaves school next week. Oh, okay. With 2 people, stressful but fun. I would know because we played it with Josh, and I mean, it was fun, but dadgum. we were absolutely struggling.
Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly.
Oh, really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. My last name sounds like oh really.
Yeah, see, no, right.
There, that's the truth. Hope you're satisfied.
She's hot. Bro. Just a Pepega, that's why. Dude, both of us were freaking Pepega. Don't even try, bro. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up. Okay, I was like, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see.
Let me remind you that you are currently on an oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine.
Gay TM is activated.
Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Bosch Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress.
So you were in cahoots with the victim.
Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. It was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and trap would snap shut.
Oh, so they were trying to get... Ugh, excuse me. They were trying to frame Mr. Phoenix Wright. Should have gotten you to do a Robo when we had lunch there. Oh, yeah. Oh, that would have been kind of funny, huh?
Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Getting caught red-handed and cheating would cast doubt on all of his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan.
We're all Pepega with Overcooked. Exactly, like, it's not an easy game. You should have ordered your meal doing that. Oh my gosh, the waitress would have been like, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, sir? Maybe I'll do that one day, but maybe I'll do it when I have, like, other friends or something. I don't know. I'll probably never think to do that, because, I don't know. Oh really, oh really, how droll. But it appears you made quite a mistake.
A mistake?
I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right.
He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly.
Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dismissed with the evil mastermind shtick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Bad.
Man, how's Dump Truck Attorney? Doing pretty well. Dude, Apollo doesn't have a dump truck. He has a forehead.
When you're through being bad, perhaps you can testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
The best laid traps.
That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant.
A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect. That rotten cheater hadn't messed it up.
Look who's talking. Well, the testimony for what it's worth is all yours, Mr. Justice.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with the defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? That better be a joke or in good spirits. Yeah. I was about to say, all you have to do, somebody is about to do exclamation dump truck. Don't worry about it. Just miss the entire block of text that's right underneath me. Just don't read it. I know it's difficult. Just, it's okay. Planted the card like I was supposed to. I probably will have to press all this until I find something like a good inconsistency. This planted card. Which card was it exactly?
The trump card, the 5 of hearts.
Let me guess, Mr. Wright was supposed to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least, that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend.
I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Well, before the match, of course. While he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers.
Remind me never to go there.
Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and rather thick.
Alright, good to know. Yep! So everything went according to plan?
Exactly! The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud.
There are worse things to be known as, I suppose.
Tell us what happened with the search.
But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. It failed.
The card disappeared?
Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone without a trace. Poof, zipper. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat.
But the card was nowhere to be found? Is this correct?
Never in my long, storied career. Nobody has ever never has quick fingers or really been readily duped.
Oh, really? So what happened? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts?
Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant?
So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. This goes like that. Quick fingers, you say. Yes, Noah. Wait, isn't that a little odd?
What's odd?
You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim.
Well...
Oh, she's touching the back of her head, like Mr. Wright said. But it's also the thing we're about to go over. What was that just now? I sensed something.
Something wrong, Mr. Justice.
No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder?
Do it.
Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something.
What are you talking about? You! Me? Quick fingers already had something. The defense will refrain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him.
Is that what my friend said when they say it's all magic? You'll see.
I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes I saw it.
So when are we going to hear Peach say objection? Yeah. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? Dude, this is called the vibe check. That witness, for instance, Mrs. O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Oh gosh, it's getting really noticeable here. Whoa, what's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that Twitch is so clear. It's twitch.tv/BorderBrawler. Go there and subscribe and follow now. It's like I can perceive her habit like I couldn't before.
Gotcha!
Gotcha!
Unfortunately, that would kind of happen with Soul Silver too. So I may just have to see if I can if there's a different DS emulator and see if I can like replay it and if we'd have any issues or what I can do for it. Because yeah, that is something kind of bad. to have to deal with. I mean, I could also purchase it on the eShop, but we'll see. Because, I mean, this is a game that I dumped since I have the physical copy. What a plug. That was impressive, not gonna lie.
Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Huh, unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony,
If you insist. Oh, what was about to happen?
you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
That's what I figured. Yep, I'm following your directions. I knew, like, immediately as I said that, and you said that, I was like, thank you, Avatar, for the tier 1 sub. I very much appreciate it. Subscribing for freaking 7 months, bro. I really do appreciate you subbing for that long. Hopefully you enjoy those emotes, and hopefully, you've been enjoying stream. I guess that too. You know, that might be kind of important. Is Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice on the game table? In my backlog, yes. They are in the backlog. I've played those games already, but if you want to see me play them, yeah, I guess.
My neck! So what?
That sip, you know what? Hydrate just for you. Once again, everybody, please stay hydrated. It's very important.
What indeed, Mr. Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of her testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck.
Alright, well, that's a bit of a complex explanation after you just figured this out, but you know, I'm sure of it.
Memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the events. You claim the witness is remembering something. Perhaps you have evidence of this memory to show us.
Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So a reminder of most of the moment of crime.
Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. You notice that happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an
inerasable impression on your neck is this. The weapon? That's the weapon.
Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she talks her neck. Or she touches her neck.
It's okay.
And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon.
She goes,
but something doesn't fit. If you're the only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
Well, what's he talking about now?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you!
Would have to save 50. Yes, you would have to. That is what the that's what the backloggery is for, and that is also why I made it large, because I am terrible at getting through these games. I mean, of course, Monster Hunter was the thing that put us back a good bit, but I'm bad at streaming. So we're trying to just get through the games as much as possible, and then if a game comes up on our backloggery, you know, it'll be one that after a while someone would surely have saved up for. So, and you know who need? No, that's not really it. Man, alright, that's pretty fair, right? It's like I would leave it, but, and I mean, again, this is, I'm saying this all legitimately. I have so many people who watch me regularly that people get to that in no time. Josh, if he wanted to, or Kiwi in the chat, I like Kiwis, could literally redeem 2 of those. Like, it's definitely possible to reach for a good few people who are in chat. And again, I very much appreciate you for that. But I'm not trying to like literally get a full backlog that goes to the entire end of 2021. I've got to have some stuff in between that I can either play like on my own time or whatever. Could redeem 4.
Oh, okay.
I've had your in for nearly a year. Probably. Yeah. Honestly, no. Sorry.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. There certainly is
unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her.
Why not 5? Please, no.
Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Wait, I am knowing nothing.
He went back to... we know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now.
Ah, fun. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got here.
Oh boy, what is happening? Like, this is so confusing to me. I know it's because of the emulator slowing down, so, like, that's why the audio is getting a little disrupted and staticky. But, like, I'm not even running anything else on my PC, and my CPU is not getting that hot. I don't know. I'll just have to figure it out. Apologies, y'all. Flex on these guys that got shmoney. Yeah, they do have shmoney, but they have just been... They've been watching for a while. Also, no. That is one game I will just say, alright, just giving you the points back if you want to get something else. Actually, if somebody does redeem that, I'm just going to take their points. Because you know better. Just kidding, I would refund them.
You seem uneasy.
You try sitting up here.
Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like?
Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came.
Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So what do you think about a testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed.
Because he called.
It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. Keck W.
Show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that claim you contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that.
Okay, I'm actually, like, in between whether or not it's the phone or the card. I don't think that would be the case. It wouldn't be this. I don't think it'd be that either. Really? I don't think that's right. Okay.
Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club.
That was like the only one I thought, but I was like, I don't know. Okay.
So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely.
Gosh, she took pictures by accident. Oh, she ain't catching that borscht anymore. That borscht gonna be on floor. Can't let that borscht on floor. That's nothing like floor ice cream. Just imagine like a weird freaking reference to Apollo Justice. It's like, oh, floor ice cream is delicious, and then Politana is like, oh well, but floor borscht. That's something.
The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant.
Oh, we're doing this again.
Dude, I don't like that spider. Disgusting spider.
Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets now!
Hey, it's gone! The card's gone! I don't know.
You lose. Ah!
Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Rat, and he hit me!
You, some master of cheating you ought to be,
Or something.
And she's like, eek! When I came to, the victim was already dead.
Or, oh, sorry.
The victim was already dead, is that it?
That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If I came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure.
Well, where does this leave us?
Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! It could also be Sparta, but, you know, that's a reference we're gonna have to skip for now. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this!
It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events?
And then Kristoff is like, bro, what happened, bro?
Mr. Gavin, sir?
I believe that as the defense of this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big, fat liar.
What?
3 were in that room the night of the murder, the defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive.
A motive?
Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouncement of that argument was murder.
What? I didn't. No, I'm no killer. It's a trap. Somebody's trying to frame me.
Payne win this case here.
I'm working on it.
Oh my god, Figs, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process.
Mr. Wright?
Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Kristoff Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder.
Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before the recess.
A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. The one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person.
Ha! This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist.
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
The real criminal?
And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the colors on the backs of the cards. Right, but how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too. But why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was.
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this 4th person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? I mean, Kristoff was there the night, so just as I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Kristoff Gavin, you were the 4th person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo! Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. It was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a sudden clash of passions. Yeah, I was right! Your bed has been successfully debugged. Yo, good job, Ender. I mean, yes, that would basically need to be done, so that way you don't have to deal with actual bed bugs and be disgusted, so. Hey, right. Yeah, taking college finals like, oh! Only the cards, the backs wreathed in blue flame know its final outcome. I suppose he did say that. Well, Kristoff. Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me, I was just so sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff, you know, even I'd never take a joke this far.
This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity! The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
I assure you, I'm quite sane.
But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met!
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
Isn't there there is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night, before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was saying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Yep. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? Why is Phoenix in Hobo Tower? Yep, don't worry about it. You just... Phoenix is hobo right now. That's all you gotta know.
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly...
I am to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this. He is the defense, not you.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's why Mr. Wright was like, hey, just make Apollo the defense attorney, you know. To give him some experience. Something like that.
Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Of course. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through.
The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court.
A2, Justice. God. You would betray me, your teacher?
I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please.
Dude, he's already taken the stand. He's just like, hey, that's not what you think it is. How about I literally just give you a new piece of evidence that literally just makes this trial on go for an extra hour? God. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shoddy Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Oh, okay. Ooh, excuse me. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Dang, that's static, man.
Mr. Gavin! You were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. God. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth, as I did back then and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice.
Sir!
He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Please let this be a normal, court trial. With the right? No way!
You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual.
Just beat him up? I don't think that usually happens in court. Just say it. Just say it.
Usual? Always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Mr. Smith, where Mr. Smith was sitting.
Some plates and such on the table were from your dinner.
Okay. Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh god, I went to the thing. I'm like, my brain just like went on 10% there because I was thinking about the static instead. I was like, God, this is not good. I still have to wonder what it's about. Maybe I just need to change the settings, but I won't do that now.
Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that,
I walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Okay. They could have met each other outside, I guess.
5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shoddy Smith may have met.
I believe I did say that.
Here, I was all nervous about this meeting. Now we hear they just passed in the hall?
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be. That was all that really happened. God, come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hits the waitress. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Ogle really mentioned?
The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. It was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of the games. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would pull out the planted card and the trap would be snapped shut.
And he's like, you swap the cards. Or whatever.
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Yes, a harmless prank, in essence. It was by quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket, and I found a card. The card she planted! Yes, I snuck a peek at it, and I found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game. Disposed where? There's an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
The murder weapon? The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. Yo, can I take a look at it?
Check. Hey, I actually can. Nice.
The bottle is completely empty.
I mean, I don't think I would need to examine this, really, would I? The label?
Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht.
Okay, cap doesn't need to be done. If I examine the bottom, I figure I'll get the same thing as the... Yeah, it's completely empty. Okay, well.
Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in here. Huh? No? What, Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourselves? I can't say I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however.
Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out? Oh, and a 6th person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So, what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear?
It's wine, but they changed it in translation. Probably. I don't know. Could have just been grape juice.
In any case, please continue with the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh!
Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO.
Oh, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Yes. Okay. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police.
You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct?
Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout.
Was anybody else on the first floor at that time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night, after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops.
After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone.
When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
When he returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in.
Little?
He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to the defense attorney, Gavin.
Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I'd obviously got involved in a rather sticky affair. I'd figure Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Ha, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. I'm gonna pause the game real quick, see if it'll catch up or something. Finish with the... Yeah, with the sad...
Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about?
Justice, no, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now.
Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with his testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere.
The cards is blue back. I'm much more of a red guy myself. Blue is so not red, you know. Thank you for the lovely words of wisdom. Is it that I need to present the hand where the bottle is? Or where, like, the bottle is missing the card, so that way maybe that card is the one that got used? You can't really see if there's a card in here. I mean, other than, like, the call, like, he didn't say that he had called Mr. Gavin, so I guess I could say that, like, oh, you didn't tell about this in the court, but I don't feel like that's as important right now. Uses the murder weapon. Mr. Wright's prints are on it upside down. Well, I guess maybe it's just the context of the thing, but honestly, like, this is a kind of weird statement because he was wearing his hat. And I mean, of course, like, he's sitting in the chair, so obviously he was in a weird position, but, like, how would he know he was hit on the head? Because, like, it looks like the hat is completely covering the wound. Oh my god, the lag, yeah, I don't know. I think it might be the music specifically, like how it's kind of picked up, because I think this is one of the last testimonies. Why does my computer suck? Bro, I told you, I don't know. I wish I could get it replaced, but things are just really expensive right now. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on if there's like gonna be a good deal sometime soon. Whether it's like buying the PC parts separately or getting them from a PC part builder. I pressed everything and that was the only thing that came up. Do I just need to press again on like some of the previous stuff? Sometimes you have to do that, but I don't think this is probably the case here. It's probably just something I'm missing. Bush Club, usual. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they may have met, so it's not really confirmed that they did it. Is the time important? Around 2 a.m. Well, I mean, it would have been really early afterwards, I would have thought. Okay, that was me. That was me. I clicked off the thing. That was me actually clicking off the thing for a second, because the emulator will always do that if you click off of it. Discover the trap and destroys it in the bottle, which is not there, which we already presented on, which... The girl was knocked out cold. Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. We know that. In return, he was dead, blood streaming from the cut of his forehead. I'm still kind of worried about that because the hat was on his forehead, so how would you know that? But, of course, context clues, I guess. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Wait, but if he did that, he was down in the hideout, wasn't he? Okay, no, so that's not it. Because if he did it in the hideout, he wouldn't have had reception or whatever, but... Yeah, I guess that's not really important to the thing at hand. Let's make another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. I don't think anything else would be important here. Oh, no. Is it this one? Oh. I'm actually really confused what this one is. Did your arm hurt? I just figure after that reach. Bro, it wasn't even a reach! He made the call when we saw him earlier in the cutscene. He made the call when he was in the hideout, and it said in the hideout you don't get reception there. Let me do this again and reread what was said. Is him in the bottle? No. Surely, isn't all you have to say. Putting the bottle over. There's nothing. Card just disappear. Can you give me a hint? I'll let you know when I want a hint. We sat at the table in this photograph, which, I mean, I don't know why that would be a problem, I guess. Walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. I don't think there's anything that I can, like, do there. I pressed there and there wasn't really a thing that came up there. So this game disposed the card in the bottle. That's the thing that we figured out, but we presented it and it didn't really lead us anywhere, so we're trying to figure out where that card went. Cole was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable, left to call the police. Which, as we know, is true. When returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Is that really it? That just seems so weird, though. So when I made another phone call, the defense attorney got him. We haven't really used this photo at all, which is why I'm thinking, like, there might be something important here that I'm missing. The locket is still a weird thing, too. But I don't know why that would really be important. I'm going 2 steps ahead. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out, like, what here I'm trying to contradict. There's something you know that the court really doesn't? Oh. I mean, check the bottle. Let's read about the grape juice again. Grape juice. Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. Bottle's completely empty. They said they checked it, and it was empty, because it was a murder weapon. Okay, again, thank you, Apollo, for the colorful commentary. Quite literally, ha ha ha, did not mean that. The empty bottle of the court on a certain statement? No, I don't. I mean, I've only shown it on this one. I mean, you're not saying it would be like this one, right? Because did they say that she was the one that was hit with the bottle? This is the one that I put the thing on. Is that on this statement, it was I presented the bottle, and then it was an updated updated the testimony. You already said the answer then? I guess it's just something I didn't try. That's why I said you're going too far ahead, you're almost there. I mean, we can't see it in here, can we? The bottle's open. Wait, the bottle's open. You'll help me a bit. You know what? That's fine. It's been 5 minutes since I said I would wait for help. The fifth statement? First one, the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. Use that blood streaming from the corner of his forehead. Yeah. Yeah, yeah! Yeah! I mean, do I just try that? I don't know. I don't remember if I've tried that already. I know I've tried the cell phone, and I know I tried the, okay, crime photo. Yeah, it's open. At least I think that's probably it. I don't think it has to do with the chips. Oh, wrong photo. This one? Oh. Wait. No, I probably know that one. That one? Thank you. What is that? Oh, flux. That's what that is. Streaming from a cut on his forehead? Sure. There's not a... Okay. If I may, yes. Alright. See, but that it didn't make any sense to me. Like, that would be a contradiction that I would need to point out, though. I don't know, because I'd mentioned that, but I was like, is that really what we're supposed to be chasing after? It's because he still had it. Yeah, but like it was streaming. What was it, like Caught by His Hat or whatever? I don't know, man. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. That's what you have to assume? Okay, alright. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Oh, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Huh?
You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And picked the hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
Well, why'd you do such a thing like that?
All I can say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. I try to refrain from helping, it makes it more fun. No, and I mean, like, yeah, I was okay with help, because I took more than, like, probably 15 minutes on that, if I had to guess. So Miso really didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Oh, well. You certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. That's why I helped he was close, but it's like... he's like, not saying it. You know what? I feel like that one was one I actually got stuck on my first playthrough, too. Like, that exact one. Overcooked time again. Yo, see ya, Yellow. Sorry that, like, the 20 minutes you were here, I was stuck on one thing. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. When I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with the defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now we're all here. I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. It's Sonic Heroes time, yo. Sonic Heroes! Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well. Something like that. The gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone crapped that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here in a minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate? A kind of porcelain very smooth and shiny. A kind of porcelain very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. Or, does he mean pate? I don't know. I didn't see like an asterisk or whatever. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Well, wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see his bone china pate? Oh, that's right! Yes. That's when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Explain how you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head. So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Trait. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as prosecutor,
Very well, we'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well, this will be the final recess for the day. God bless. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this?
it's Trucy. May I?
Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please, pick a card.
What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
Oh! An ace. Where do I remember that card from?
Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it, the 5th ace. That was cheating, I swear to you.
The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up for you to cut the deck and draw. The truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
Good old Trucy. Gotta love her. This bloodstained card. Is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection.
Yes, or daughter.
Bloody Ace added to the court record. Dude, they are doing the what? They're freaking silent. They're like, bro, what the heck came of this trial? Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Will the witness state his name and occupation?
Is this far as necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. Look at that dude!
Look at that man!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright! What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo. Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore his hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit! Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. Apollo. Mr. Gavin! I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. The truth. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
Yes, please,
God! Excuse me.
needed to hydrate.
The rage I had sensed in that man the night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed this was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. And that's when the call came from Wright.
So you witnessed the murder?
For better or for worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. He is like he made it personal. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand, after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright! You had to say that, because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh! Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. You tell me. The rage I sensed in that man the night troubled me, so I returned to the club. Okay. That man? You mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that.
So then you knew the true nature of your client's job?
Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. I see. What happened then? little window. You mean the one used to keep the watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of an ancient past. The black marketers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go in the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Christoph lying! Alright, you get that one. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, one of my fears had been unfounded. They'll be walking in on their match, but informed, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense.
The window one is kind of weird, but I'll have to see what I'm thinking about that one. It's been right after the murder took place.
How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part of my testimony. There he is, the coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene. Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. And Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
A bald head and an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. After seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime! Justice, I just said as I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said! Ah yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace, right? Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point out to a reason? Well, it's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. And go ahead and point your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
Because it had blood on it.
My reason is, this!
Is that an ace?
Why, it's got blood on it! Right next to the spade! What?
This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable! How could you? What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing.
Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card. It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Porch Boil Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are stock in trade, after all. Yeah, forensics, baby! No! Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence! It's a fraud! A fraud? How could you be so sure? What? I wouldn't think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason?
The reason for...
For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose the killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible! Oh. Right, regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer! You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence? Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? A magic pair of redacted. Yeah, I know about that too. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture! Baseless! Objection! Oh, are you going to do the point? Is he doing it? Dude, oh, I assure you, it's quite based. Bro, based indeed. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Right, exactly, Josh. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there's one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, or the second witness? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? The victim, because if it was sitting back, then he wouldn't be able to drop his head on the bloody card? Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Take a look at the photo again. I have no idea how I had the time to eat dinner before the gym. I don't know. But welcome back, Empress. If you bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Why, that's right! So what does that mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh, man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. What? Okay. The chair was facing the other way! It would have to be. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder, but this creates another significant contradiction.
Again?
Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witness. Whose location creates a contradiction? I guess the second witness, because then the victim would have probably seen them. It's like, what doesn't make sense, the second witness, and then Kristoff is like, now hold on. At least the guy died in a spinny chair. Yep, you know what? He's got that. It's true. Jeez. You mean to say I don't make sense? Oh, no, of course you do, sir. As I thought. Hell. I'm a little hard of hearing. Did you just say something? Would you be kind enough to show the... Oh, well, alright. Let's set your reasoning skills again, shall we? Okay, victims, killers... What? Okay, whose location is the contradiction of the victim was facing away?
mean, it wouldn't be the victim again, because at least that would fix the blood falling on the cards. The witness... I don't think the witness would be related to it, because she said she woke up by the time that the victim was dead, and I guess that would have been when Phoenix was there. Because he was hit in the front of the head? True, because he was hit right on the forehead, not on the back of the head. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? It would be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why should the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There was something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Oh my gosh! If the victim was struck where he was sitting, as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. Huh? But... there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have been standing to strike our victim from the front?
It would have had to be right here in the closet.
The killer had to be standing, well, here? Is that a really long high camera? Yo, no problem. Pain really reminds me of Noah. Bro, what? Why?
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I knew I was onto something there, too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed in the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha!
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that, at the very moment of the crime... Wait! I know! At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there! What's this now? I mean, it's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor. What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. Should I cry? Oh, nope, you're good. Let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the time of the crime, and this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it had to have been shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my, what's this? What is it now? Look at this diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang! Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Yeah, I was about to say, it's definitely story-related, so we'll figure that out. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in the diagram contradicts what we know about the crime?
It would be the two, because he can't see because the cupboard's in the way.
About this cupboard, are we okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, of course he's gonna say yes. Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. the cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Oh! That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, it's the coolest defense of the West. Losing is cool. You don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court. Exactly, where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law and I will have order! We just now received a word from the investigating team at the Bosch Ball Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? What did they find? Well, Your Honor, turned out there's a secret passage behind it. What?
Secret passage, they say.
Ah, yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that, now that he mentions it. Secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Yes, thank you, Morak. You know, what? Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You see where a line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo. I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked in the victim's hat. It was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something. Good night, Cameron. Yo, see you, confused person. Thank you so much for sticking around. Very much appreciate you being here by stream. And hopefully you have a good night. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There, he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. And the chance came, and he took it. What? Why'd you do that? Wait here, I'll get help! Miss Olga really was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time is soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shoddy Smith alone in the hideout with an unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He rolled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card.
Sonic Heroes has officially you off. Yeah, I mean, I said Sonic Heroes wasn't a perfect game for different reasons. Someone in the chord system is guilty. Lol. This is definitely a good opening to this game, that's for sure.
After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood took the whole story of the crime, or told the whole story of the crime. God. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red.
Did you say this is the opening? Yes, this is the opening case of the game.
Well, it seems that this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Yes, it's true. I did get stuck for quite a long time.
Mr. Gavin. Mr. Payne!
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
Ah!
Believe me when I say I don't believe that this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest. Immediately.
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked. That person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course, this bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottom were, upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demanded an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold the bottle upside down, and that is to hit somebody with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. I'll see how all the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo. Yes, your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like, what? Why would anybody grab a bottle upside down, other than the... Ugh. Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? Putting the car on the bottle, that's what I'm thinking.
It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice?
Mr. Gavin said the court in this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave this justice is done.
Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottom were upside down?
I'm gonna look over all the evidence again, but I think it's this one. Because the bottle is off the top of it. I mean, I guess that's also here, but... Oh, no, wait. Wait. There's not a bottle of grape juice on the thing yet. Is it that he grabbed it by bringing his arm backwards and then grabbing it like this? And that's why they're upside down? I mean, you could also just do it this way, though, like... Do it like that. I think it's one of... I think it has to be one of the two. This one seems more likely, I guess? It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair.
Excuse me, on the floor?
Yes, now reach down and pick it up.
without getting out of your chair.
Ah!
See, you naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down! Look at this photograph. Look at this photograph! Taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor next to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow! I can't believe it was that simple! Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order! 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 What have you to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where's your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid that your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Phoenix is always just like, yo, so you thought you had me? No, 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 not today. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I'd be surprised if anywhere on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably would have made such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright! That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle! Dude, is there a card in the bottle? There's something inside the bottle. Oh, Mamma Mia got a new meaning. Yeah. What's this? That card! It can't be! Recall that unpleasant woman tested me for a moment. Mr. Olga O'Reilly? Yes, our little swindling Devochuk. Okay, I'm guessing that's Russian. I miss Mia.
That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed!
Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony. I happened to put my hand into my pocket, found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? Well, there was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. The only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Christoph Gavin! Uh-oh. 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 Oh, no, there goes the borscht! Not the borscht, dude. Yo, that was some rage. That is all. Yo, man's absolutely devouring this man like the borscht. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little... Is that Teot a Teot? Or Teot a Teot? I don't know. Right. God, I'm gonna have to, like, look that up later. I have no idea how that's supposed to be freaking pronounced.
This is insane. What does that even mean? I mean, you'd have to look up Google Translate to even know what that's supposed to mean. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
No, that's not what I was gonna say. I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest right now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Soddy Smith. Or Shady Smith, I don't know. His occupation was listed as traveler, not profession to be sure. That's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years. You still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me. Both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. And did two things before I could confront him. The first was the place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? The dark time is coming for our legal system. The twisting of justice brought on by our very own court system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright! Our work lies ahead of us. And I, for once, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
Yay! At least we didn't game over on the first trial.
Court is adjourned.
April 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... When he used his eyes, he was like... You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true!
What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What was that, Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our deal Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified! You said that locket was yours! I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's pictures inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to being to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time.
you're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may just be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yes? How about coming to work for me? Huh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know about it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago, that legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. A lawyer without a job, that sentence makes you shudder. It be what it be. The case reached a sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? Well, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, that's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. Probably the bloody ace? You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The court can't accept this as evidence. It's a fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Of course, the bloody ace. Yes, yes. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do like something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So, it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Ah! I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in, if you'd like. Mr. Wright! Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for the day. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney at Law, and this is how my story begins. The man pulled the whole Edgeworth. Why does this dude look homeless? Yeah, he doesn't really have a good job. Oh, jeez. Brand new episode has been added. Turnabout Corner. Let's go ahead. Oh, we'll save. Alright, well, a little over 3 hours. Makes sense for a first beginning stream. And I don't think there's any reason to foreshadow the next one. We'll just get started there next time. Anyways, other than my 30-minute blunder or however long that was, and the kind of unfortunate
static that was going on, which I will try and take a look at, because obviously, you know, trying to make this playthrough as high quality as possible is something I want to try and focus on. But other than that, I'm pretty okay today. But regardless, thank you guys so much very much for watching and coming by. I'm going to go ahead and do my special thank yous. Yo, good night, Avatar. It was nice seeing you. Oh my gosh, why am I... Why do I have to do that right at the end? Okay. So, Michael hosted me with 1 viewer 2 hours ago, and Avatar resubbed at a tier 1 for 7 months. So thank you once again, Avatar. Hopefully you enjoy those emotes. Have a good night. I guess before I thank everybody else, I'll do this Robo-born. God. I probably need to drink some water again.
My name is Roboborn, and I am here to spoil this game. The true final vanilla is redacted, and the grime is redacted, which leads to redacted. Also, Phoenix is redacted. It's actually redacted.
Yeah. Oh, I'm staying for that. Yes, of course. Thank you, Noah, for the Roboborn. I appreciate it. But as for other people, I can thank you to Avatar once again for coming by. Thank you to Empress for coming by. Thank you to Noah for coming by. Thank you for Josh for coming by. Thank you to Confused Person for coming by. Thank you to Couple for coming by. Thank you to Yellow for coming by. Thank you to Chris for coming by. A big old spoil sport out here. Yes. All right. See you, Avatar. Have a good night. Thank you, Antiqua, for coming by. Thank you to Ender for coming by. I'm like forgetting somebody who's been here the entire time. I already thanked Josh for sure. Oh, Mortem stopped by for a little bit because he said he was helping his grandmother. That might be it. Maybe. I don't think Keychain came by. Did Dan come by? I don't think Dan came by. Anyways, thanks Phoenix Wright for saving my booty, but he had forged evidence. He lied. He lied to me. How can he lie? Anyways, but if you're watching and you enjoyed, please follow if you'd like to see more Apollo Justice content or anything else related to that. And I mean, if you're watching and I haven't thanked you, thank you so much, very much for watching. Hope you're having a fantastic night or day wherever you may be. And tomorrow we will be streaming. We may do Apollo Justice again. I feel like this is a really good game to do, and I'm almost wanting to try and schedule a little bit around the week. And I wonder if I just want to do Metopia once a week and try and do like this game twice a week. I may do a poll on that, seeing like what people would want to see most during the week. But well, apologies. We'll see. I won't do that tonight. I'll try and do it sometime tomorrow if I can remember, because clearly after the day, a little bit lazy, so we'll see. But thank you guys once again for coming by. Very much appreciate it. I won't be rating anybody because I want everybody to go to bed and get the proper rest they deserve. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.